Welcome back. All right, 5 games tonight in the National Hockey League. All 5 done right about the same time. Took my notes. Let's go ahead and go through. And the dreaded trap magnet is out. I had the feeling with the preview that it should have been a trap magnet. I apologize, but the trap was sprung. The trap being the idea that a team that's not expected to win a game wins it over a team that's expected to win said game. But we will get to that. That being said, starting things off, Detroit and Columbus. You got to feel good if you're a Wings fan right now, right? It really looks like this might be a Wings team that can break through. So it's Reimer versus Martin. I still believe in the Yzer plan. Texier's denied and close. The Jackets are controlling early. In fact, the shots are 3-1 for Columbus, 3.5 minutes in. DeBrincat's denied from the slot. Gostisbehere opens the scoring at 8:51. He scores from Veleno and Mata. He wires that one on the rush. So Gostisbehere gets what would prove to be the game winner. We had no idea at the time. We then have a power play for Columbus. Wings clear early. They do kill that off. Goudreau has a net feed that was picked off. Both teams defending well. We get a power play for Detroit. Sider's denied during that. There's some cycling. That's killed off as well. So after the first period, it is 1-0 for the Wings on the road. Second period, good early back and forth. Costin with a net drive. That's blocked. The shots are 2-0 for the Wings. At 5.5 minutes, they would get some pressure 7 minutes in. Eventually, they score again. Rasmussen scores from Comfer at 7:45. They then get a power play, and they score on it. It's Larkin from DeBrincat at 11 minutes and 11 seconds, and then they get another power play less than a minute later, and they score less than a minute later. It is Kopp from Raymond and Wallman at 12:07. This game suddenly getting away from Columbus, allowing 3 goals in 4.5 minutes, less than 4.5 minutes, really. So that makes it tough. 3:13 left. Columbus gets a power play. That leads to a shorthanded rush chance for Comfer. Kopp was denied after that. Fans are restless and they boo the power play. And then with 1:19 left, we get 4-on-4 for 6 seconds and then a Wings power play. So that rolls over into the third period where the Jackets do finish the kill to keep some hope alive. Wings press after it ends. Columbus then goes back to the box. The Jackets kill that off as well. Then they get their chance on the power play. That was killed off. The Wings clear it out. The shots are only 2-1 for Detroit at 8 minutes, so pretty quiet early. Wings press at 9 minutes. We then get a power play for Columbus. That's killed off. Kopp was awarded a penalty shot. There were 3 penalty shots in the games tonight that I saw. It feels like there's a lot of penalty shots early in the season. We'll see if that continues throughout the year, but that one was saved, as they all were. Kopp has a slot shot. That's saved, and then there was a post for Sprong on what was essentially an open net. He could have caught Martin cheating. Doesn't, but in the end, it is a 4-0 victory for Detroit. They go to 2-1 on the season. Columbus drops to 1-2. You've got the Tony the Tiger magnet because Reimer had the shutout tonight. Shots on net, 9-5 Columbus in the first, 13-4 Detroit in the second. Both teams had 10 shots in the third. Final shots, 28-23 in favor of the Wings. Power plays, Detroit 2 for 5. Columbus 0 for 4. The hits, 13-10 Columbus. Reimer saves all 23 shots for a shutout in his first game with Detroit. That is a rarity. Spencer Martin, 24 saves on 28 shots. Well, you can't blame Martin when you don't get a goal. So that's just the way that works. And again, if you're a Columbus fan, you're probably watching this and thinking, are we already seeing Columbus having some struggles here? Could Columbus 10 games into the season already be in that, they're probably not going to make it role? All right, that being said, next up, Florida. This was a game Florida had to win, and they do win it, but it gets interesting. So it's Bobrovsky versus Vanacek at 3:54 on a turnover. Reinhart scores, tips it 5-hole. Rodriguez and Barkov with the assist. So Rodriguez, that's his 5th point in 3 games with the Florida Panthers. I think he likes it there. Devils look to respond. There's a near miss for Howla. Rodriguez is denied. The rebound's blocked. The shots are 7-4 for the Panthers with 7 minutes left. And then Verhaeghe makes it 2-0. He scores from Tkachuk and Mahura at 13-12. Blasts a rolling puck into the net. So he had 41 goals last year. Looks like he's going to have a bunch of goals this year as well. We then have a power play for Florida. That becomes a 4-on-4. Everything's killed off there. But it's 2-0 in favor of Florida after 1. Second period. Reinhart has a slot shot. That's held. The Devils press at 3.5 minutes. We get a power play for New Jersey. They can't get set up. That's killed off. The fans were quiet at this point. Really, it's unlike New Jersey fans to be quiet over the last year or so, right? So the Devils go back to the power play. Bratt's denied as it ends. The shots are 9-5 for the Devils with 9.5 minutes left. But at 11:18, Mikkola scores from Tkachuk. He taps in a backdoor pass. So Mikkola's there, basically has an open net to tap it into. That makes it 3-0. And then we get a power play for the Panthers. Pretty aggressive penalty kill. Bratt with a rush chance, but that power play ends up being killed off. Devils press after the kill's done. They end up hitting a crossbar. They're crossbar away from making 3-1. With 3:12 left, though, Timo Meier goes back to the box. So that's back-to-back penalties for Meier. New Jersey does do him a solid and kills that one off as well. So after 2 periods of play, it's 3-0 Florida. It looks dark, and it gets darker. Early punchy. Tkachuk's involved in that because Tkachuk's involved. And I was thinking of it tonight, thinking, if I watched every minute of every Florida and Ottawa game, I'd like to see a counter and see which Tkachuk brother stirs up more of the kerfuffles during games. So we get a power play for the Panthers, and they score on it at 59 seconds. Reinhart from Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Ekman-Larsson prevented the clear, shoots it at the net, and Reinhart tips it in. So Reinhart, with his second of the game, makes it 4-0. This game's done, right? Can pack it up. Well, we get a power play for the Devils, and they score on it. It's Haula tipping one in close. Jack Hughes with the assist at 3:35. Devils then press at 5.5 minutes. They have some life. The fans are getting back into it. Luostarinen has a slot shot that gets blocked. Holtz roofs one, so it goes over the net, and then they end up scoring anyways. It's a loose puck, and McLeod buries it. Haula and Holtz with the assists at 8:51. So Holtz ends up with a secondary assist for what was essentially a missed shot. Panthers press to respond. We get a 6-on-4 for the Devils with 4 minutes left. Things get punchy on a hole by Bobrovsky, but eventually that 6-on-4 works. At 17:37, Jesper Bratt scores from Dougie Hamilton. So that makes it 4-3, and then there's a trip. They didn't call it. Fans weren't very happy, so that cues up the ref you suck chance. With 32.1 seconds left, the Devils call a timeout. Whatever was discussed doesn't matter, because Florida holds on and wins this one 4-3. So they now have 1 win to go with 2 losses. Meanwhile, the Devils 1-1-1 on the season. Shots on net, 11-8 Florida in the first, 12 apiece in the second, 14-7 New Jersey in the third. They just woke up too late. Final shots, 34-30 for the Devils. Power plays, Florida 1 for 4, New Jersey 2 for 5. The hits, 32-25 New Jersey. Bobrovsky's best game so far this year, 31 saves on 34 shots. Vanacek saves 26 out of 30 at the other end. So, yeah, but definitely a fun game late. And again, the clock just was working against the New Jersey Devils. All right, next up. Arizona and the New York Rangers. So it was Ingram versus Shesterkin in this one. There's an early press by the Rangers. They're controlling it. Panarin has a chance that's held. The shots on net kind of even up a bit. They end up 7-6 for the Rangers 7 minutes into this. Hedl has a rush chance that's saved. Krause misses one wide on a rush. And then it's Kreider. He opens the scoring. It's a nice pass by Zibanejad to set it up, and it's buried by Kreider. Kakko with the other assist at 14-10. So Kreider is off to a very red-hot start to the season. We then have a power play for the Coyotes. That ends up being a 4-on-4. Dumba then prevents a goal. Everything's killed off. Wheeler's denied in the final minute. But after the first period, it's 1-0. Second period, power play for Arizona, and they score on it. And it is Clayton Keller at 5 minutes exactly from Schmaltz and Cooley. So Logan Cooley with an assist on that one. And it was glove side, and it was a tic-tac-toe play. So, again, while the Coyotes don't get the result they want tonight, there's a lot of reason to be excited if you're a Coyotes fan about the youth on this team. Coyotes go back to the power play. Hedl has a rush chance that deflects out. Halfway through the period, the shots are 5-0 Coyotes. The Rangers went quite a while in between shots. They end up getting a power play. Dumba clears it out early. Power play's killed off. Stetcher has a shot blocked as they're pressing. Cooley's then denied on a rush opportunity of his own. Rangers press with 3.5 minutes left, with 1:19 left. The Coyotes get 2 minutes of 5-on-3. And this is that classic moment of the game that defines how the game goes. Keller's denied. It's cleared out. Your Igor chance get going. Igor easily had his best game of the season thus far tonight. So that power play rolls over into the third. The Rangers finish off that 5-on-3 kill. Then there's a press by the Rangers. The Coyotes block. Good puck pressure by the Rangers. There were no easy pucks for the Arizona Coyotes in the third. Kreider fires one wide on a rush. We then get a power play for New York. Zibanejad's denied twice, and then Trocheck tips one in on that power play at 8:25. Panarin and Fox with the assist. And again, it's tipped in. No chance for Connor Ingram there. Makes it 2-1 for the Rangers. Rangers then look for more. There's some momentum, but the Coyotes get some pressure with 9.5 minutes left. Lindgren's then denied as the Rangers are pressing. There's a penalty shot for Zucker. That is saved. The Rangers prevent the goalie pull. So basically, Arizona wanted to get the goalie out. He's 20, 30 feet out of the net, and every time that happens, the Rangers get it and get it in there. So the goalie pull happens in the final minute. But that's not optimal in the way the game's played now. 17.4 seconds left. There's an icing by the Coyotes. The Rangers call a timeout just to discuss whatever needs to be discussed. And it ends up working. They ended up fighting at the horn. It was a pretty good brawl at the horn. So, you know, these teams not liking each other very much, and they're not in the same conference, because that's how things are working early in the season, and I'm all for it. So your final score is 2-1 for the Rangers. The Rangers go to 2-1 on the season, whereas the Coyotes drop to 1-1 on the season. But I think they'll take this. And tomorrow they're playing the Islanders. So the shots on net, 13-10 Rangers in the first, 9-4 Arizona in the second, 11-8 Rangers in the third. Final shots, 28-27 Rangers. Power plays, 1 for 5 for Arizona, 1 for 3 for the Rangers. Hits, 18-15 Rangers. Ingram saves 26 out of 28. Shesterkin saves 26 out of 27. Both goalies were excellent. That being said, let us move on to the coming out party for Soderblom. Yes. So Arvid Soderblom was a good goaltender last year for Chicago. He wasn't getting results. Tonight he gets some results. So it's Soderblom versus Wall in this one. Good early back and forth. Radish has a shot that's saved and held. The Leafs press 4.5 minutes in. Tavares can't bury one. It gets cleared out. The shots on net are 3-2 for Chicago 6 minutes in. So they had a very good start to this game in terms of controlling the offense of the Leafs. Good forechecking by the Hawks as well. Not much room for the Leafs. Nylander then gets denied from the slot. They would press with 8.5 minutes left. We get a power play for Toronto. It becomes a 4-on-4. Everything's killed off there. Bedard has a net feed. That gets picked off. Leafs press. The Hawks block. Zaitsev gets shaken up along the boards. Just kind of, he lost an edge and fell into the boards. He would come back in the second period. But after the first, no score. Second period, Hawks press at 1 minute. Tavares has a rush chance. That's tipped out. Perry and Reeves are unfriendly. McCabe has a blast that's saved, and then Entwistle opens up the scoring. He gets his first of the season at 2:50 from Athanasiou and Kachuk. So it's 1-0 Chicago, and that was buried from the slot. Matthews nearly answers, and then Tavares does at 5:15. Nylander and Giordano with the assists. So Matthews, his goal-scoring streak done. Hat-trick streak done. Done. Anyways, we then get a glove save on a Bedard chance from the slot. He had a good game. He doesn't get on the board, but I think he's okay with that. I think he'll take the 2 points. Get a power play for the Hawks. That is killed off, but Chicago manages 3 shots during the power play. Bertuzzi has a rush chance. That's blocked, but the Leafs press. The Hawks then press with 6.5 minutes left. And then on a breakaway, Corey Perry, who looks 10 years younger this year all of a sudden, he scores from Vlasic and Seth Jones at 14:46, and then with 4:38 left, the Hawks get a power play. So they're up 2-1, and then they're up 3-1 when Tyler Johnson scores at 17:05. Athanasiou and Korchinski with the assist. So Korchinski with his first NHL point there. And then Reichel fires one high on a rush as the Hawks are looking for more, and Leaf fans kind of quiet as it's 3-1 after the second period. So three goals by the Hawks in that second period. Really strong period of hockey. Third period, Matthews has a net drive. That's held. The shots are 3-0 for the Leafs at 3 minutes because they know what's on the line. You can't lose to Chicago at home. Bertuzzi's denied as they press. The shots are 6-3 in their favor, 6.5 minutes into it. Giordano has a screenshot. That's saved. We then get a power play for Chicago. That's killed off. The Leafs then get a turn on a power play. That was killed off as well. Solid penalty killing numbers from the Hawks tonight. Goalie pull happens with 4 minutes left. With 2:08 left, the Leafs call a timeout. Hall has an empty net goal, but that's offside. Nylander scores in the closing seconds, but that's offside as well. So not only is it offside, but it puts almost a full minute back onto the clock. And then we get 12.4 seconds of 6-on-4, which means when Radish hits the empty net at 19:54, it's an empty netter and a shorthanded goal, one of those rarities. But you can fire at the empty net because there's no icing when you're shorthanded. So the Hawks win this one 4-1, and this road trip, they're now 2-2 on this road trip. Not bad. The Leafs dropped to 2-1. They'll be kicking themselves over this one. It is a trap game. Shots on net, 9-7 Chicago in the first, 13-12 Chicago in the second, 18-9 Toronto in the third. Final shots, 37-31 for Toronto. Power plays, 1 for 4 for Chicago, 0 for 4 for Toronto. Hits, 43-27 Chicago. Soderblom, 36 saves on 37 shots. Wall saved 27 out of 30. And there you go. For Chicago, again, that's a huge win. Any wins they get are good, and, Bedard, good game, doesn't get on the board. Probably happy with the win. All right, moving on, the last game of the night, Calgary. So Calgary joins the ranks of teams that have had a 2-goal lead, and then, nope. So it's not a long list this year, but it's there. It's Pittsburgh, Montreal, and now Calgary. It's three. Three teams have lost 2-goal leads. I'm tracking it. So Markstrom versus Kemper. Kemper is sharp early, and I'm not talking about like losing a 2-goal lead and then winning the game. I'm talking losing a 2-goal lead and losing the game. So yeah, Kemper sharp early. The shots are 4-0 Flames at a minute and a half, and that was just the beginning. The first 10 shots were to Calgary, and then they just kept getting shots after that. I think the first 13 shots were for them. And then on their 11th shot, might have been their 12th, but at any rate, Calgary scores. It is Ruzicka from Hanifin and Dubé at 4:47 off a face-off win. Yeah, 12th shot at 4:47. Congratulations on your new baby, Darcy Kemper. Now get ready for all the shots. At that point, the Caps had 0 shots, and it looked like it was going to be the same as the last game. It really did. I was like, wow, this is 2 flat games by Washington in a row. Strome has a rush chance. That saved. Zadorov has a shot that's held. There's some pushing there. Flames press at the half. We get a power play for Calgary. That's killed off. Flames go back to the power play. Dubé has a near miss, and he misses another one. He would remember that. Things get pushed in a hole by Kemper, and then Dubé, late in that power play, does score. He tips it in. Hanifin and Ruzicka with the assists at 17-12. So Calgary has 2 goals. The Capitals have 2 shots at this point in the game. Yeah, they end up with 3 in the entire period. So 2:32 left. The Caps get a power play. That's killed off. The Caps would get some pressure to close it out. But after one period of play, it's 2-0 in favor of Calgary. And at this point, it looks like all the road teams, minus Arizona, might end up winning. We don't know. And it ends up being kind of close. The Rangers end up pulling it off. And, of course, Washington, but it was close. So second period, the shots are 3-2. Caps 4.5 minutes in. There's a net feed to Backlund. That doesn't go. Backlund's then denied. They press. And then Phillips. First NHL goal against the team that let him go. And before the game, he said all the right things about, no hard feelings. I love Calgary. You know that felt good. Matthews gets that one from Milano at 6:48, buries it on a rush, his first NHL goal. And then at 9:54, McMichael scores from Phillips and Karlsson. So Phillips with a goal and an assist in about a minute of time there in the game. And suddenly the game is tied. So much like against Pittsburgh, Calgary's good work early, it doesn't matter. They end up in a tie. And that was after a huge save by Kemper at the other end. So Kemper's the reason this is tied. It's not really Washington rallying as much as Kemper saving absolutely everything being thrown at him. Caps press with 6 minutes left. Sandin has a screenshot that's held. 2:22 left. The Flames get a power play. The Caps block. They clear. They kill it off. So after 2 periods, it's tied at 2. We go to the third. Early jump for the Caps. Flames press at 2 minutes. We then get a power play for Washington. There's a post for Strome. That power play is killed off. Coleman with a penalty shot chance. That saved. That's right. 3 penalty shots tonight. Strome has a slot shot. That's kicked aside. Kadri with a rush chance. That's blocked. 3 penalty shots I saw. There may have been others. So Kadri with a rush shot. That's blocked. Wilson has a net drive. That's blocked. Both defenses doing a good job late of making sure those prime opportunities don't hit the net and that they get them away from it. And there's a power play for the Flames. That's killed off. 3:34 left. The Flames go back to the power play. So, and that was after Oshie was robbed on a breakaway out of the box. So, you got to watch the guy coming out of the box. There hasn't been a goal yet where somebody coming out of the box has scored that I've seen, but it does happen. So that power play ends up being killed off. The Caps clear it. We go to overtime. In the overtime, the Caps control early, and it's one of those overtimes where the team that has the puck is cycling back and not really taking those dangerous opportunities because you don't want to turn it over and then see the puck go in at the other end. That's why they do that this way. Uyghur steals one and rushes. Kuznetsov then had a shot. There was a toe save on that. Nice one by Markstrom. Caps with a power play. Too many Flames on the ice. But Tanev with some wicked shot blocks sacrifices the body to send this to overtime. The only goal scored in the shootout is Kuznetsov's. So overtime's not successful. Kuznetsov ends up with the overtime winner. And Washington with the comeback victory in a shootout, 3-2. They go to 1-1 on the season. Calgary drops to 1-1-1. Shots on net, 18-3 Calgary in the first. Yeah, that was lopsided. 13-9 Calgary in the second, and then 10-8 Washington in the third. Both teams had one shot in the overtime. Final shots, 40-23 for Calgary. Power plays, 1 for 5 for Calgary, 0 for 3 for Washington. The hits, 14-10 for the Caps. Markstrom saves 21 out of 23, and Kemper saved 38 out of 40. And after getting the shootout victory, he did this rocking the baby motion because he's a new dad. I think that's great. I think he should do that for the rest of the year. When they win a game, do the rocking baby motion. It'll be popular. Fans will love it. There'll be photos of it all over. I think it's great. I think it's nice. So hopefully he does that every time the Caps win a game. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.